life leads you to where you want to be. You think you have this plan, and you can plan as much as you want, but it's like Jesus has the ultimate plan. He's like, like, you think you know, but you have no idea, you know? And so that's what happened. It's like, you're like, like, why is all this happening to me? And in a way, it's good to ask questions like that, but it's also like, well, it could be so much worse than that.
What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the #1 mental health and addiction podcast, the Hopeaholics. I am your girl, Natalie Eva Marie, and these are my boys.
I'm Chad.
Hi, I'm Shane.
Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and follow us on our socials and wherever you get your podcasts.
Got a new episode dropping every Monday and Thursday. Please come check it out.
This episode is brought to you by the Infinity Group. You guys, if you or a loved one is suffering, please call us today. The number is right here on the screen. We are here for you 24/7. Now, let's get into the episode.
Tifany,
Hey,
welcome to the Hopeaholics podcast.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
We're excited to have you.
I'm so excited to be here.
I know it's my fellow, you're from the Bay Area, yeah?
I was just going to say, you're from Concord, right?
Yes.
I'm from Palo Alto.
Oh my
Redwood City.
gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Concord, Raging Waters.
You got it.
Right?
You got it.
Every summer.
Yeah,
for
yeah,
me.
yeah. Wow, it's taking me back.
Yeah.
Wait, Raging Waters?
It's a water park.
Yeah, we had that out here.
Really?
Yeah, it was in San Dimas. And it was part of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, the original.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh
Crazy.
my gosh.
that is crazy. I didn't know there was a second Raging Waters.
I didn't either, apparently.
I didn't know there one was out here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they exist anymore.
They're in
right?
Florida. Really, a lot of those things.
San Dimas? I mean, Raging Waters?
Yeah.
Or just
I don't
water?
feel that. I don't think Raging like
Wet and Wild or something?
Yeah, but that's not
That's
Raging
a-
Waters.
That's
Raging Waters.
That's porn.
Yeah. No, it's could have been. Yeah, you're right.
All right, let's get this party started,
Yes.
Shane.
Yeah. Let's go. So, Tiffany, welcome.
Thank you.
You're really put together. Really, I mean, everything is nice. You lost 100 pounds early on.
I did.
So, I want to ask you something.
Uh-huh.
If we go back in your life right now, what was the part that, say, made you make that big switch?
Are we allowed to cuss on here?
Oh, yeah.
You're darn right.
Okay.
You're darn right.
It was my oh shit moment of taking accountability. And that was seeing a family photo of myself with about 20 family members and friends on Thanksgiving. And, you know, they say you gain the freshman 15.
Yeah.
I gained like the freshman 65. And that's when I realized in that family photo, I'm the biggest one in the photo. I went, I'm only 21 years old. I can't live like this anymore. You know, I'm out of breath. I'm getting winded going up an escalator, you know, I can't live like this anymore. So I literally just quit all my bad habits cold turkey.
Wow.
Started working out in my living room, started doing Jillian Michaels.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
She's great.
I know,
Yeah.
she's amazing.
Yeah.
Biggest Loser. Started
Yep.
doing that in my living room, started going hiking in the Bay
Yeah.
Area. We have amazing
Oh
trails
my God,
there.
we really do.
We really do. And my dad was a chef and restaurateur. So we'll get into that later.
Oh,
I know.
Darn right.
But I started making healthy recipes, you know, all the same foods I grew up with, but I just made them healthier. So the weight just literally melted off. So I lost 65 pounds in one summer.
Wow.
And then I moved to San Diego for college. And then obviously the lifestyle down there, everyone's got a beach body,
Sure.
super active. And I went, this is amazing. So I got really serious about fitness, got into training with a coach, and he trained fitness competitors.
Okay.
And that's when I went from graduating UCSD to going into culinary school.
Oh, wow.
And then I was in culinary school and signed up for a fitness competition.
Wow.
Which required so much discipline because, you know, we're making,
Yep.
you know, mother sauces, and one of the mother sauces is hollandaise sauce, which is literally clarified butter and egg yolks. And it's like, okay, I got to taste this, but, you know, we're eating chicken and broccoli out of Tupperware, and I'm in sommelier classes. So it's like, oh my gosh. But again, it's just discipline. Life is all about making choices and decisions. So
So true.
yeah.
Why do you think, what made you gain the weight in the first place?
So I was always pretty active as a kid, but I always loved food too. And so my weight would just constantly fluctuate throughout my life. And I think with college, it was basically going to class all day, not eating anything. And then once I was out of class, around 6, 7 o'clock at night or whatever, go to like Chinese food or Chipotle with my friends, crush a burrito. And then it just absolutely messed up my metabolism. So I wasn't playing sports anymore. I'd go to the gym maybe once or twice a week, but it's just, it's not enough. Calories in versus calories out, right?
Sure.
That's the law of thermodynamics.
Thermodynamics.
Like I say that because it, a lot of people are like, okay, well, I do keto, I do this, I do that, and at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you do,
right?
If you're consuming more calories than you're expending in a day, you will gain weight. Whether that weight is fat or muscle, it could depend on what you're doing in the gym or outside the gym. But that is a law.
Absolutely.
It's not a theory.
It's not rocket science.
No, it's really not.
I get asked that all the time. Like, how did you do it? It's like diet and exercise. I mean, that's literally it.
It sounds to me, though, even with you, though, it sounds more like a lifestyle change.
It's 100% mindset.
Yeah.
It's consistency, it's discipline, but it's not that hard. You just got to choose your hard,
You do.
So true. It's so true.
It's hard to be fat. I was a fat kid.
I will never go back to feeling that way ever again. It's more about how you look. It's 100% about how you feel.
For sure.
Emotionally, physically.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ever. I will never go back to feeling that way again.
Yeah. I still feel like fatty chatty sometimes.
Yeah.
I think we all do
think
sometimes,
totally.
right?
Do you ever
We
feel
have
like
our days.
No, I don't feel fatty chatty at all.
No.
No. Skinny Vinny.
skinny?
I feel like Skinny Vinny most of the time. But I like what you said there because you're right. Even if you're successful financially, spiritually, if you're overweight and you're panting as you're going up the stairs, or you can't bend over and put your socks on properly or your shoes on, I mean, that's a negative thing in your life.
Right. Yeah.
Nagging at you each day.
Right.
This is the perfect podcast for Shane. I mean, Shane.
No, I'm just thinking because that's just it really does affect your life. So even if someone is successful and you see they're overweight, they need help. They're missing something in their life.
Right. It was such a domino effect for me too,
Yeah.
because
Right?
at the time when I was obese. I wasn't just overweight. I was obese. I had crippling social anxiety.
Oh, I bet.
Of
crippling
course,
social
of
anxiety.
course.
I couldn't even make eye contact
Bro,
with
Yeah.
people
are you
during
kidding me?
conversations. It was bad. So once I lost the weight, it was just a domino effect of positive things to happen in my life. I was able to start crushing so many goals. I was able to get really focused, and obviously I'm on a podcast now and able to just talk my head off and, really just do whatever I want at this point.
Right.
Well, and not that it's a goal or anything, but when you lose weight and you look better, you attract
Better.
Well,
you attract people, male or female, and those people give you confidence.
Right.
That's what you're attracting is those people. Hi, how are you? As all of a sudden you're walking in the hallway, you get 10 hellos instead of none.
Well, I think that
belief.
it's
Because
start
you're looking,
believing in
you're looking at
yourself.
people's eyes now. They feel your confidence.
yeah, and that's what I think is more important is we're so stuck on like the aesthetic and like the
Right.
physical, which is yes, of course. However, what happens is it gives you that inner self-esteem
Yeah.
that you were lacking, so it doesn't protrude out of you when you are overweight or obese because you're subconsciously looking down. You're not making eye contact. You're not inviting to others when you're walking down a hall or walking into the grocery store. You're not engaging with somebody else. So then all of a sudden when you start losing some weight and feeling better about yourself, and that's not even taking in consideration the effects that it has just in your brain and the neuroplasticity that it causes and releases all the dopamine, the serotonin, and the oxytocin and all the things that we're searching for anyways, that give us that kind of feel good
that
feeling. releasing all those things, and then also you're giving yourself the esteemable acts by showing up for yourself, and then you're able to kind of make the eye contact, say hello, engage with other people, and then they reciprocate, hopefully.
It's really the highest form of self-respect.
For sure. I agree.
You're so right. And, you know, the aesthetics are just the little bonus on
Of
top.
course. And people put so much on, like, of course, we all want to, like, look good to an extent, but I always say health is wealth. And it's that, and then on top of when you start feeling good about yourself, it just kind of radiates when you are walking into a building or a room.
Well, and it opens up doors. I mean, people want to be around you. People want to socialize with you. People want to offer you things. They want to introduce you to business. I mean, it's just everything opens up for you.
Right.
Life becomes easier.
It does. It 100%
really does.
Yeah. I can definitely advocate for that. Yeah.
Because you went to culinary school, and then did you finish?
I did. Yeah. So I actually got a culinary arts associate's degree, and then I also got a business hospitality degree. That was a bachelor's of science. So yeah, full on.
Good for you.
Wow.
Good for you.
And then prior to that, I got a journalism writing degree at UC San Diego.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
I just love learning, and I've always been a curious kid, and yeah, I love
Nice.
asking questions and just
That
And
is
you
awesome.
you said your father was a chef?
Yeah, culinary.
chef and restaurateur.
Okay, so was he excited and happy in a way that you were kind of following in his footsteps?
That's a really good question, because he was the exact opposite. He completely discouraged me. And I feel like for a good majority of my life, I was constantly discouraged to do things. And, you know, I'm sure we'll touch on this later, but belief, self-belief is such an important thing, because the world will discourage you left and right.
Oh, yeah.
But you really got to follow your path.
Now,
Everyone's path looks
Why did he
different.
discourage you?
Because, you know, people will constantly tell you this is going to be hard.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
it's not easy. You know, 80% of restaurants
Yep.
fail. You know, entrepreneurship is hard. You know, it's not.
But the 20% that succeed,
yeah,
We're living life.
exactly.
My family did the same thing to me. I was in a smaller town, you know, protected. Everyone's making 30 to 50,000 a year, same job, you know what I mean? Blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, here, this is your life. I'm like, I don't think so.
Right. Who
I don't
gets to
think
make
so.
that decision
This is
for
what
you?
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Damn, good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that came with, you know, it all started with losing the weight and going, okay, I can do that. What else can I do?
Right.
well, if you can do that, you can accomplish anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that from experience of having that same problem. You know, I felt obese when I was in elementary school. It didn't happen until like 4th grade, but from 4th grade to 8th grade, I just was, you know, my mom kept telling me, you're going to have a growth spurt. All kids get chubby during this time.
Yeah.
Really, because none of my friends were, and they were all making fun of me for being chubby.
Yeah.
You know, and that shit, like, it's ingrained in your head when you're a kid. And that's why I say, like, fatty chatty comes, you know, rearing his ugly head all the time in the mirror. You know, I might catch a bad angle and I'm like, ew, or whatever. But, like, I don't care anymore. You know, I've worked hard to get to where I am. And to be honest with you, what ended up happening is because of all of that, I became very resilient and doing a lot better than most of the people that were making fun of me back in those days. I did find methamphetamines, because as soon as I found that, guess what happened?
Strictly for thinning purposes, though. Let's just make that clear right now.
I got skinny.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I got skinny.
Yeah.
My mom thought I had a growth spurt, but I hadn't grown at all. Probably stunted my growth, to be
I was
honest
going to
with
say, you probably shrunk.
you. Yeah. But hey, you know what? I mean, I think that's awesome what you've done, because I wonder, like, I'm looking at you and you're very pretty, and I'm just wondering how you felt when you saw that picture.
Well, if you look at my Instagram, I have some before and after photos, and I wish I had more. The reason I don't have more is because when I was overweight, again, I had just crippling social anxiety. I hated taking photos, especially when I was obese or overweight. So they almost don't exist.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was your question?
I was just wondering how you felt that day
Yeah.
when you looked at that picture, because
Oh.
there's feelings really attached to that. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean,
Yeah.
even beyond just like when you saw yourself, did you feel pretty? Did you know what was underneath? You know, really deep.
I had to grow into my new self. I almost wasn't used to my new body or like my new life. And I think people saw the shell and automatically assumed I always had that shell or I had pretty privilege or whatever it was, when it was never the case. I always had to fight tooth and nail for everything I had, had to learn the hard way, so to speak. And so, yeah, it took me a long time to sort of get used to my new life or my new appearance or whatever, even though it took extreme hard work to get to where I was. So looking back on my old photos, I have so much empathy and so much love for that girl, especially when she was younger, because like you, I was bullied mercilessly when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I grew up in a community that was mainly whites and Hispanics, and I am, mixed, Asian and European. And so literally kids looked at me like I was an alien, and kids are cruel.
They are.
They'll say whatever comes to their mind. And if you're different in any way, shape, or form, you get picked on really bad. So that was a good majority of my childhood, was just getting picked on really bad. So yeah, there was that little voice in my head that was always like, between parents, between peers, between whatever, it was always, am I worthy?
Right.
Can I do this? So it wasn't until later on, probably until my 30s, which is just a few years ago, where I'm like, okay, I don't have imposter syndrome anymore.
Right.
But every once in a while, and that little voice in my head is like, am I supposed to be doing this? Am I supposed to be here? Even though I'm at Meta headquarters, working an amazing job, and I'm like, still like, oh my gosh, like, am I supposed to be here?
Right,
because of how we were shaped and the environment we grew up in,
Yeah.
Which I want to touch on right now.
Sure.
Parents play a big role in that. They try to guide us, so to speak,
Right.
in their little way, based on their deficiencies or based on what their passion is.
Right.
So how was that growing up? Your dad was obviously headstrong, restaurateur,
Yeah.
chef. So that's the head of a game.
Right.
You're at the top of you're top of a game if you're a restaurateur. So how was that growing up? How did that push, that love go with you?
I really admired his creativity for sure. And I always grew up a really creative kid. I knew I was different. I knew that I wasn't this cut and dry person. I loved writing. I loved creating. I actually loved inventing weird things. I grew up watching Nickelodeon and was like obsessed with like the weird kind of gross things. And so I would like build like a gum recycling machine. And it was like weird. Like I was just always curious and obsessed with weird things like that. And so, I would come home from school and just like make random snacks like a pizza in the toaster oven or whatever out of bagels or Triscuits or what, and I still do that. And they're still so good. They're a little elevated now, but still so good. But yeah, he really inspired me to be a creative person. But I just thought it was a little strange how he was like, okay, yeah, go for it, but be careful. And I don't know. And, it was just, I feel like it was almost slightly hypocritical, but I think he did it because he loved me so much and was like, he wanted to protect me,
Of course.
from
100%,
failure
yeah.
because it was so hard for him that he didn't want to see me get heartbroken or see me get eaten alive, because entrepreneurship is like, it's sink or swim, it's definitely not for the timid. It's brutal. But I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've come back from the grave, whether it be from entrepreneurship, from life, or what have you. But what's really gotten me through that is faith. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what are you the only child?
No, I have a brother and sister. I'm the youngest of
Okay.
3. Yeah.
Did they struggle with weight or anything growing up?
I was the only one in my family. So I was also ostracized or kind of picked
Yeah.
on for that because
Yeah.
everyone's like, what's wrong with you? Like, why are you that weird
Right.
one? You know?
Totally. And that's already like, that's difficult
Yeah.
in itself.
Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
So I mean, where did Jesus or God play a role in this for you? Like when you were alone, you're just, you saw that picture, you're getting on into the living room because you can't go to the gym, God forbid, you can't be seen out yet. You know what I'm saying? So how did God play a big role in your life while you're sitting at that in that living room there alone?
It's so
Maybe even crying, who knows?
Yeah. So I didn't have, and it's, you know, everyone talks about a come to Jesus moment. And I had a for real come to Jesus moment. It sounds corny, but it's absolutely not. And I'm actually, it's like, I feel so intense just thinking about it because this only happened, I believe it was last year after New Year's Eve. I got really, really sick. I got norovirus. And I went, what is wrong with me? Like, I keep having these weird medical issues.
Wait,
you
what's
know,
norovirus?
it's basically it's a viral infection that
Yeah.
you contract through like seafood. It's
Yeah.
really
Oh.
contagious. It's basically like the stomach flu,
On
but
steroids.
yeah, exactly.
yeah,
like
yeah.
like people can die from
Yeah,
it.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Like it's really
I think there's even an A and B, isn't there? Or was that something else?
I'm not
Anyway,
sure.
sorry.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, so I basically had just had norovirus and then I was just going, why am I having all these medical issues? And I had just had like a crazy freak accident before that. Like, no, I believe it was 3 years ago, and my followers might know about this. I was bit by a brown recluse in
Oh,
Cabo,
damn.
Mexico.
What?
In my sleep.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Brown, one of those brown spiders. That's
Yeah.
dangerous.
Everyone,
AKA the fiddleback.
is it called the fiddleback?
Yeah, they look like a fiddle.
Oh yeah. So people think the black widow is like the most like
No, the brown recluse.
it's actually the brown recluse
Yeah.
that's the most venomous
Yeah.
or poisonous. Yeah. So I didn't know. I went to the emergency room and the nurse took one look at. I bit on my right index finger, my dominant hand, and she was like, "Yep, that's a brown recluse bite." And so I actually had to go on medical leave for about
Wait,
2
what?
years.
What?
Yeah,
What?
from work and everything. It was horrific, you know. So I was just, my life was at a standstill and I was going through massive depression because I was this entrepreneur. I was this, you know, fitness model. I was, you know, doing all these
Yeah.
things. And so I felt like I was losing my identity
Yep.
and all these things. And, you know, it was terrible. So then after that, I got norovirus and was just going through all these weird things. And that's when I had my come to Jesus moment. Was I literally just felt God's presence. And I never had this before, ever in my life. And he was literally just like, come to me. That's what it was. That's all it was. And all I had to do was open my heart to him. Because my whole life, I feel like I've just been kind of running away from Jesus. I've been running away from God because I grew up Buddhist and Christian. So my parents are mixed. And I think I was always weirded out about religion. You know, like especially people that were really sort of self-righteous about
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
You know, and it kind of just always freaked me out, to be honest. And so I never really opened my
Sure.
heart genuinely
Sure.
to Jesus. And so for the longest time, I had this wall built up about it. And so it wasn't until that moment where I just, you know, was going through severe depression. I had nothing to lose. And I literally felt God's presence in my living room. And he said, come to me. And I think because before that, I felt like, you know, I had terrible friends. I didn't really genuinely have anyone that had my back, you know. And at that moment in time, it was like, that's what it was. And right before that, I went sober.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I know it's usually the opposite. People find Christ and then they go sober. I actually went sober and then found Christ. So it was, I think, having the clarity and then finding God.
It happens like that quite a bit too.
Does it?
Because,
Okay.
Well, because you come into treatment and you get sober, and then you kind of find God while
Yeah.
you're getting sober. So
Wow.
it worked out
Okay.
perfect for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm newly, just really
Wow,
building
that
this
is awesome.
amazing relationship with Christ, and I would not have it any other way. Just the amount of clarity I have and joy, like just the healthy dopamine And I never had any issues with drinking. You know, it was mainly just like social, and you know, how normalized is alcohol,
for sure.
you know, everywhere in the world. So I didn't drink any more or any less than the average person.
Sure.
I never had an issue with it, but I came to a point in my life where I was like, this is just not, it's not conducive.
It's not serving you.
It's not serving me. Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, you'd go out to dinner with your friends and it turns into an all-nighter.
Yep.
And then you meet their friends that are just shitheads. And you're like, what is this turning into?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I just made that decision, like, I don't need it, you know? Plus, it doesn't help in the gym.
No.
it doesn't.
And it's expensive.
It is
It's
expensive.
a
the tab.
it's a poison.
It is.
It's
literally.
classified as a poison
Sure.
today. So
Well,
and
they
they've
call
known
it
that for-
spirits for a reason.
100%.
Yeah, right.
Have you
Yo.
guys heard about that whole
Oh.
theory? Well, I don't think it's a theory, you know?
I believe it.
Yeah.
That's a,
Well, because it's not you when
It
you're
isn't.
drinking.
that's the devil coming
I have
for your
enough.
soul.
I have
That's what
enough
I believe in.
personality. I don't
Me
need
too.
it.
Me too. I don't need no extra.
I
like,
heard about you talking about it on Total Divas about, you know, how you were a different Natalie, like you
yeah.
would shut down the bar when you were
Oh,
drinking.
for sure.
And I'm like, I
Multiple.
can never imagine you like that.
I mean, it says it in the big book, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde.
Right.
That's me.
Oh wow.
Shutting it down.
Oh God, we're too late, baby. We're too late.
But it is crazy because I think that we were actually talking about it this morning. How this legal substance, alcohol, right?
Right.
It's fascinating to me, even now, having like, you know, some years put together of sobriety, how a legal substance that is totally advertised and glamorized and easily promoted, like it's all good and
Totally
it's like,
glamorized.
have some whatever barbecue wherever, doesn't matter, celebration or not a celebration, but what it can do to the body, meaning like my body will physically my brain will shut off, so like I have no recollection of what I am physically doing.
Right.
Is insane to me. Like it means that you're literally poisoning yourself to a level that now my body is full of a spirit of some
Shutting
degree.
down.
100%.
Where I'm
You're not even you.
Not at all. I'm saying things, I'm doing things. Possibly, usually I like to drive, so I'm behind a vehicle
Wow. Yeah.
and I
That's
have
really
no
scary.
recollection. Like, how is that even possible?
Please use.
Yep.
Please use responsibly.
I mean, that's
I mean,
the
how?
thing.
Yeah. How
At
responsible
the
can
end
you
of every.
be?
But like,
Please use
but that's
responsibly.
illegal. Like, you can walk into any liquor store, grocery
Yeah.
store, and purchase a substance that can ultimately turn off your brain.
Right. And I mean,
That's
drinking,
nuts.
It's nuts.
Right. It certainly doesn't make people smarter.
Definitely not. You do not. They think that it does. You do not make better decisions.
No.
It just makes you looser and more inebriated.
More apt to make
Yeah.
a bad decision.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
I'll make
for
a
su-
bad decision under the influence of alcohol.
for sure, for sure. And then you wake up and you're upset, and then you feel like shit, and then it's all
Right.
these like
all the regrets.
all the regrets, all the
All the
shame,
regrets.
all the things that you then now have to deal with like on an emotional level that you don't want to. So then you pick up and drink again.
Yeah. Forget the no regrets tattoo. It should just say all the regrets, you know, when you're drinking, because that's what happens.
You know what she's talking about, Shane?
The Rugrats, the movie.
Not Rugrats.
What?
No, it's where that dude he gets tattooed on his neck right here, and he gets tattooed "No regrets,"
Oh, and he
It's
spelled
supposed
it
to say-
wrong.
yeah, he spelled it wrong.
He spelled it
exactly.
wrong.
Spelled it wrong.
and he shows I don't remember who he shows, but he shows somebody, and he's like, okay,
That's funny. Sorry, no.
that was a big regret.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting
Exactly.
no
The irony.
regrets.
Yeah,
the irony in it is
Yeah.
hilarious.
So what did you do when you had that like moment of like come to Jesus, come to me, seek me? How did your relationship start to build?
It was so beautiful and so insane because I always thought that, again, I always knew I was different.
Sure.
And I think I've been on this journey of figuring out like what really is my home, in terms of friends, in terms of, my path, in terms of everything. And I went, wow, Jesus is home. I'm home. I've been home this whole time. He's reinforcing the fact that I'm home. I don't need anything else. So that was so beautiful and so wild to me. Again, that he's had my back this whole time. And especially as an entrepreneur, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's on me.
Sure.
I'm freaking out. I'm going to like literally like my chin's barely above water. Like I'm drowning in everything. And he's saying like, shh, like it's okay. Like, you know, like you figure out the possible.
Sure.
I'll figure out the impossible. And so I just thought that was so beautiful. And so now I just go about my life like, I don't sweat things the way I used to anymore. You know, the gossip, the this or the that, you know, it's just my life is so much more focused.
Peaceful.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. The comfort alone is like nothing ever experienced before.
And mind you, this is my first time speaking publicly about my
Wow.
faith. Yeah.
Wow.
So again, like I said, this is like such a
love that.
divine, like, you know, it's such divine timing that this is not only my first podcast, but this is my first time publicly speaking about, you know, my faith. And it's so amazing to be here. And it's my birthday week.
Oh my gosh. Really?
Yeah.
What day?
Cinco de Mayo.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
What's that, Friday?
Sober birthday.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Friday, Cinco de Mayo?
No.
Monday.
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 All right.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Wait,
Have
so
that peace. That's nice.
what, belly button birthday or sobriety birthday?
Sobriety birthday.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you're like, I wasn't sure if you're, I don't know, how's the sober thing going? Because you never really had, like, you mentioned not a problem, or it wasn't really a thing. You just decided to go with, I'm just gonna stop drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's been really easy for me.
Yeah. I think
Like,
I
haven't
like
been struggling
So you didn't have to go through the like 12-step program or nothing.
Not
like
at
that.
all. No.
I love that, like, for people that are listening, because like we're addicts and alcoholics and stuff, but it's like for the normie or the individuals out there to just want to stop drinking, like you don't have to have a significant you don't have to wait until you're behind bars or in jail or a institution or a hospital bed to decide like, oh, maybe I should give this up. It's like looking at your life and being like, you know what, the outcomes aren't really what I want anymore. Like going out with friends and having these types of relationships where it's not really conducive in what I want to do in life.
Right.
And it's okay.
Everything that I do with passion and I do with intention.
Yeah.
And so that's just how I live my life. And so I look back, you know, at my obese self. I look back at even, you know, the year before last year, and I was like, wow. I made a lot of small decisions that actually were big decisions.
Sure.
You know, everything impacts everything else, you know? So yeah, I'm just really excited for the future. And, you know, Christ is such a huge part of that. Yeah. He's really opened up my eyes to everything.
How does your relationship with him continue to build, like, on a daily, you know, like, do you do anything specific? Do you go to church? Do you read certain books or to establish that relationship?
Yeah, journaling and prayer. I have a prayer journal that I do daily, twice a day. And then I also watch a lot of online preachers. So yeah, that's
Who are your
going
favorite?
really well.
Because I do too.
I literally just tune into whomever just kind of pops up on my feed, and then I just kind of save.
Yeah.
And then I'll reference back. So that works really well for me. Yeah.
On the top of my head, there's two that are fantastic. I love listening to any of, like, Joyce Meyer's sermons. She's amazing.
Oh, cool.
She's really, really good and keeps it, like, so real, because she just talks about how big of a mess that she was. So she's not this, like, you know, holier than thou trying to.
I love that.
I love that. That's where I have a problem with religion, is like these people that are on this soapbox where it's like, bro, stop.
Yeah.
You're not, like, perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So she's fantastic. And there's this other guy.
Turk.
Who?
I don't know. There's a guy named Turk on Instagram that pops up in my feeds. I kind of like him. He's really good, man.
Oh my God, it's going to bug me that I can't remember his name. It's like, he's really great too.
So it's not Turk. It's not
No,
Turk.
I don't even know what that is.
Turk.
But I do the same thing. I'll, like, put little YouTube sermons in the background, you know?
Oh yeah. I love it. I drive too.
It's always I'm one of those guys that I, you know, besides the the stuff we put in our mouth. It's so important what we put in our ears.
Consumption in general.
For sure.
Consumption,
What we eat, what
and
we listen
what
to,
we listen to,
who
what
we surround ourselves
what we look
with.
at.
Yeah.
You know, the TV shows we watch. I mean, my
Philip Mitchell
Philip Mitchell. Don't
Phil
know.
Mitchell.
to 2819 Church.
Okay,
Is
I've
his
got
name.
to. I got to.
You'll I'll DM them to you.
Okay, yay.
Because little things like that, it's just you just hear little things, that
Yeah.
are so
that really stick with you, and you're like, oh my gosh, yeah, like I love that, and that's so important too, because going back again, I'm like, gosh, the conversations I used to have with my old friends were just terrible. No wonder I was so depressed.
No substance.
No substance. We talked about nothing, or just
or others,
which I never liked, and no wonder it's all about like energy.
right? Frequency,
Right.
and being on like because it's very easy. I mean, we talk about it too with our clients that come into our facility, and after 30, 60, 90, going back out to your same friends or the same people that you used to hang out with. The energy alone, like you might feel like you're doing amazing and you have this incredible experience of sobriety and you're feeling great, but the energy of the others is going to suck you down
100%.
if they're not on that same
It's
wavelength.
the bad apple effect, or I would, call it like, like a bad slice of bread. It affects the whole loaf.
100%.
Right?
Yeah, it's really important, and it's like contagious, and it's you can feed off of it.
And happiness is contagious too.
For sure.
Positivity is contagious. It works the same way, both ways.
Yep. I mean, they always say too, I would get so annoyed, but it does work, like, especially when you're not feeling the best and it's a bad day or whatever's going on. If you laugh or smile, it does something to you. Like,
Yeah.
it literally, they have it in a...
Let's try it.
I know.
Ready? All right.
He
let's
went
do
right
it.
into
We're gonna
it.
try it. Ready?
I'm serious.
Everybody, grab your mic.
It
like
does.
a Dr. Evil
it,
laugh.
It does. It releases something. I can't remember. I need to like look up the actual.
I've heard about that.
The study,
Yeah.
but it's true. So it's like, all these little things require us as humans to do some action.
Right.
and
So
not
we got to
sit
do
still.
action. We have to have actionable steps. Right, Natalie?
That's right. You already know. You
I
already
do.
know.
I actually do. It's required.
It is.
Like, you can't get out of depression without taking action.
No,
Correct.
you can't.
You can't get out of being fat without taking action. You can't get to the gym and get fit and change your life. None of it.
Right. Well, I, especially somebody who grew up with so much anxiety
Sure.
and, just like crippling social anxiety, before taking action, I would have analysis paralysis, going, oh my gosh, like, how do I even start?
Sure.
So before taking action and, the Nike Just Do It, I came up with just decide. Just decide. Make that decision. Then take action. The execution's everything, but you first have to make that decision and make that self-awareness of what you need to do.
So you don't have to do the full-blown analysis before you make that decision
Well,
anymore.
analysis paralysis is a thing. I mean, I would
Yeah.
just lay there and my head would be spinning and go, oh my gosh, like, I have so much to do, or how do I even do that? You know what I mean? So just deciding is actually huge. Or realizing that, oh my gosh, there's a problem. Or, why am I attracting
Sure.
the same type of friend in different bodies?
Sure.
The same carbon copy of a boyfriend.
Right, right.
It's like there's a level of accountability that needs to be taken. It's not everybody. It's something that I'm doing that's attracting these people, right?
No, totally. That's huge.
It is huge.
It's
So just decide. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to, continue these habits.
I mean, I think that takes a lot for an individual, especially that doesn't work like a program that is kind of outlines those certain things. Because for a long time, until doing the work, I had no idea like that the self-awareness, the accountability, or whatever it is that is within us that we're eventually continuously attracting from others.
Right.
So I think it's the most difficult thing to look at oneself.
Yeah. Attract what you desire. 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
What do your parents think of this complete shift and change in their youngest?
I don't even think they realize what's going on. I think they still think I'm crazy, that like I'm still this like weird kid, even though I'm, you know, in my 30s. I'm like a full blown like lady, like adult, you know, but I think they still think of me as like this dreamer, even though I've accomplished so much,
Totally.
you know, but I'm not like, you know, working at Meta anymore. Now I'm fully like, you know, this chef entrepreneur doing, you know,
Look at you.
podcasts and things like that. So that's something they'll never understand. You know, they're just like boomers. They don't get it. So, so that's kind of
You're a boomer.
I'm a boomer.
Are you a boomer? My bad.
Oh
There's
my
nothing wrong
God.
with
I was
it.
just
But look,
called out without her even knowing.
well, you're on a podcast, so you're.
So I'm okay.
Yeah, you're good. You're good to go. Yeah. My parents would be like, "What is this?"
They'd be like, well, he actually didn't know what a podcast was until I was like, bro, we're building a podcast. He's like,
Okay.
all right, dude.
Let's go. I'll do some research. Wow. Yeah.
You do know how to use an iPhone, right?
Barely.
You still have a home button on yours.
Oh, shit.
Damn,
bro.
I didn't mean to call you out.
I love
like
it. I love it. Yep.
Not everyone have a home button?
No.
No,
You're good.
you're fine.
Well, hang on a
You're
second.
okay.
How do I get rid of it?
Oh, you don't. You
Oh no, you don't.
upgrade.
Whoa, that's weird.
Okay, we thought
Okay,
you.
I thought you. We thought
We thought
were
you still had the
Yeah.
iPhone 12.
Yeah,
No.
I thought you were back in like
No.
the Stone
Oh,
Age.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah,
This is-
sorry.
This is the 17.
No, maybe I'm the
That's
one
not
that's a
the
boomer and getting my eyes checked.
I'm only.
You're only on the 16th? Excuse you.
Only on this.
Don't be touching my shit.
Wait, you got one of those too?
Oh, yeah.
He's got the brand new fucking iPad. He doesn't even know how to
Whoa,
work it.
that thing is paper thin.
Yeah, it really is.
Is that the Pro?
That's the Pro, bro.
Is that the $3,200?
That's-
Darn right that is.
3,200.
3,200?
Bro, you know you could get like a regular like not a MacBook.
This was a gift.
Huh?
This was a gift.
No, but if you got like just a regular PC
Yeah.
that ran Windows,
Yeah.
you can get them for like $900.
I know.
It'd be
It's-
way more powerful than that.
That's not the point.
It's,
but I like. I think I should have gotten that instead of my laptop because I only operate with the phone, so it's basically
Yeah.
a large version of a phone.
Basically, yeah.
You know, and then you can get a little keyboard.
it's a large version of the phone that can do everything that your laptop can do.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But I know how to maneuver it better than a laptop, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That does
No,
make sense.
it's a laptop.
Lap.
Like
Lap.
put it in your
Like a lap dog.
not a laptop.
a
lab.
Labrador.
It's not a lab. It's not a lab.
You know what, guys?
It's a lap.
What?
I said laptop.
You
Did I
said-
say a lab? I don't know.
You can put it
Run
on,
it back.
You can put it on your, you can put it on your lab if you want.
Labradors sit on your lap.
There you
So
Yeah, they're lab dogs.
today you're lap dogs. Yeah. So you're in physical fitness today. Are you right into that, or are you more into the eating and the food and the critiquing and the?
All of it. I'm getting really like serious about I mean, Natalie, like you are like my Fitspo for life, dude. Like you are so shredded, and I'm like, I remember when I was shredded, which was like 3 years ago.
gosh.
You know, 4 years ago before my crazy spider accident.
that's wild.
You know,
scary. That's scary.
you know, but that's what I'm saying. It's like life, like anything can happen.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not, you know, there's so many other things going on
Sure.
out in the world. I'm not to say like I'm totally not a victim at all, but just anything can happen. It's like life is so precious and health
Yes.
is wealth.
Right?
Like, and that's why it's like exercising and being able to do, you know, deadlifts and pull-ups. Man, I love doing pull-ups. I'm getting back to like doing pull-ups again, but it took me a long
Sure.
time to, you know, rehab my hand. And, you know, I dealt with the nerve damage and the tendon damage and
yeah,
all this
that's right.
crap,
It
man.
Sounds like the tick. You know when you get bit by a tick and you get that what's
The
it?
Lyme disease.
Called Lyme
Lyme
disease.
disease.
Yeah, it's
brutal.
Spiders are serious.
thing, man.
And I never had any issues or beef with spiders, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
But now I'm like,
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah.
They've always kind of scared me.
Me too.
I don't
Really?
know why.
Even Daddy Long.
I never had an issue with
Yeah,
them.
Daddy long legs. I go get a piece of toilet
Oh,
paper
yeah,
and
me
I
too.
kill him
Me
and I
too.
crush him in my
I
hand.
do
And
too.
you know what's bad? You should leave the daddy long legs
know,
because they eat the other stuff.
I know. It's fucked.
Like
I
leave
know.
the
As
daddy.
a kid, I was like super scared. For sure.
Did you guys know that? Speaking of spiders, we eat like 7
Oh, yeah, when you're
spiders
sleeping.
every year while we're sleeping.
They crawl in
They
your
just
mouth.
crawl
that.
in your mouth and you swallow them.
Mouth and ears, I heard.
Ew! Oh man, the ears.
The ears.
I'm about to. I'm gonna start sleeping with earplugs and mouth tape, just to keep them out.
You want to know what's really took me to the next level in sleeping?
What?
Nose tape. I used the mouth tape once, and I woke up gasping, so I didn't try it the second time because I was having a dream, I guess, and I was trying to breathe, and
That's horrifying.
and I woke up and I had to rip the tape off. You know what I mean?
That'd be kind of.
I have mouth tape. I want to try it, but I'm also allergic to a certain type of tape, so I'm scared that I'm gonna wake up.
I got the 3M duct tape. We'll just
Yeah, there we go. Wrap it right on your head like 4 times, just under your nostrils. Leave one nostril out.
Yeah, guys.
I was just saying.
There's so many doohickeys.
No, we've never
these
done it
days.
before.
I know.
They're like,
It's insane.
So, you worked at Meta for a little while,
I did.
or for a long while?
Well, I worked in Silicon Valley for a long while. I was at Meta for about a year. I was in operations for global security. So it was basically like the CIA of social media.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How was that?
I'm such a creative person, and I was like, oh, this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I had to fight again tooth and nail to get that role. And people, I think they see the end result, the outer shell, and they automatically seem like, oh, what did you do to get that job? It's like, dude, I applied. I did the 7 rounds of interviews and I got the job. Like, how do you think I got it?
Yeah.
It definitely wasn't like on my knees or something. Like, yeah, just have this girl run this entire sector. Like, what? No.
Yeah.
So frustrating, it's just like life. But anyways, so I was there for a year, and again, it's very cut and dry. And it gave me no room for creativity. And so I'm like, I don't think I like really, like, this isn't light a fire in me. So
Sure.
That was it. And so I left and, wanted to pursue my true passion, which was, hospitality and the culinary. And so I went back down to San Diego, and then the spider thing happened, and then COVID happened. And then it was like, is the world on fire? Like, what's going on?
Right.
But then again, it's like life leads you to where you want to be. You think you have this plan, and you can plan as much as you want, but it's like Jesus has the ultimate plan. He's like, like, you think you know, but you have no idea, And so that's what happened. It's like, you're like, like, why is all this happening to me? And in a way, it's good to ask questions like that, but it's also like, well, it could be so much worse than that, So things happen for a reason, and you may not know why. But ultimately, it makes you a better person.
Always.
Yeah,
It always does. And then usually what happens is you'll then look back 6 months, a year, 2, 3, 4, however long.
Right.
And then see those like little moments of where either they were possibly dark or not the best, or you thought you were lost. And then it clicks and it makes sense to where and why you were going through that moment.
Absolutely.
To get you at the specific spot.
Right. Healing is never linear. Growth is never linear. Getting to your goals is never linear. It's never a straight line.
Never.
And most of the time, rock bottom is actually a trampoline. Is what
Oh,
I
I like
all
that.
the time.
I like that.
I like that too.
Never heard that before.
Me neither.
Rock bottom is a trampoline.
It always is.
It is 100% every time.
I wonder why they got the word tramp and trampoline.
Yeah, who
Is
knows?
it you bounce on it all the time?
That was really like almost like a GM right there. How you got your hand.
Oh,
and everything.
sorry.
I don't know.
What's GM mean?
Gay moment.
Oh, right.
Oh,
I have those all
I've
the
never-
time, baby.
I've never heard that.
Guilty.
zesty.
Guilty. Guilty as charged, Chad.
Dumb.
Wow, brother.
Okay.
Where are you
okay,
living
we're gonna
now?
stop there before you take. shit.
No,
I'm in,
that's it, that's it,
I'm
that's it.
in Calabasas.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Nice.
It's Australia.
Well, that's where
What
my
brought
wife's
you?
from.
Yeah, that's a nice area.
Where
What
my
brought-
lab is at, Calabasas.
What lab?
Your Labrador?
Peptide lab.
Oh,
It's
Third-party testing.
peptides are
Carlsbad.
great.
Carlsbad, California.
Peptide
Oh, that's
jar.
Carlsbad.
She said
I said
Calabasas.
Calabasas.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Calabasas.
Well, I
Carlsbad,
lived-
Opposite
same thing.
I lived in
directions.
San Diego
Same
for
thing, bro.
14 years.
Same
so
thing.
Carlsbad,
No.
San Diego.
One's like $1 million of property. One's like $5 million of property.
I mean, Calabasas is a freaking gnarly ass drive, dude.
Gnarly ass drive.
405 to the 101.
Well, thanks for having me, you guys.
Yep.
No, it's a pleasure being here. Yeah, it's the 101 to the 405 just right there, and then through the Getty. That's
Horrible.
where it's like for no reason. There's just like there's traffic. It's so congested.
My wife grew up in Agora Hills, so
Oh yeah, Agora's beautiful too.
when I met her, she was living right by the promenade in Calabasas. Right
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
No clue.
No?
No.
Do you know where it is?
She just said yeah to be part of the group.
No, because I went to the little market
Yeah.
there that they talk about all the time. I just don't know the area, just like I don't know. Huh?
I can't think of the exit.
I
but
said, all right, she was telling the truth.
Oh.
you've never even been up there.
I have
You were
not.
thinking Carlsbad is Calabasas,
Yeah.
so bye.
That's-
You were down. You know where that is, right?
Yeah, just down the street.
San
This-
Diego.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
San
this way.
Diego.
This way. This way.
That would be L.A.
Yeah, let's go.
San Diego.
San Diego.
Santiago.
Natalie, you're in Orange County.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Where about in Orange County?
Laguna Niguel.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty there.
What are you doing today?
Bougie.
Like,
It does.
what are you
I
doing
love it.
during the week? Like, say next week, next month. What are you doing on a daily basis today?
I love that question because I ask myself that every day. No. Well, yeah. So I'm doing a lot of things right now. I am building out a culinary brand
Oh, nice.
of organic, no refined sugar ice cream. It
Sick.
took me
need
11
a-
years.
If you need a taster, I'll ask your girl.
I'm an ice cream connoisseur, and it's also my weakness.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's it. I love that. So 11 years for me to formulate this this
Wow.
recipe. So it's finally ready, and I'm just getting the final little touches on getting like manufacturing and things like that going.
awesome. Good for
Yeah, so that's been a whole baby of mine to birth.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's been crazy, but it's really exciting. And actually that whole thing came about from losing the weight. When
Yeah.
I was like, okay, healthy recipes, I got to figure this out. And ice cream's really tricky because in order for it to be like luscious and actually creamy and not like icy and gross, you need high fat, high sugar.
Yeah.
So for me to do that without high fat and high sugar was actually really tricky, but I was able to figure that all out
Wow.
after 11 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's exciting. And then completely revamping my social media. I started out with the fitness modeling and, kind of just fell into the whole thing of like pushing out, the sexy content.
Sure.
And I never did anything like too crazy.
Yeah.
It was mainly just like swimwear, a little bit of lingerie.
Yeah.
But, coming into my own and really figuring out what I want to do, and especially with like the food and the health stuff, I'm just like, that doesn't really like fit my trajectory anymore. And especially, my relationship with Christ and just who I am as a woman now, and I'm just like, I'm not about that. So I'm primarily like food and lifestyle focused, and I'm building out all my content, which is like, dude, I mean, I was over at, working in Silicon Valley, and it was easy kind of cranking out content as a model because, you show up to the shoot, you get your photos done, the photographer sends it back, you a little caption and you post it. But it's like to actually make cooking videos.
Oh, hard.
So hard.
It's so hard.
It's like you got to be your own camera crew. You set it up, you break it down. You don't want your food to burn. You don't want to catch on fire. My makeup is melting off. I'm like, my upper lip is sweating. It's like such a production. And then you got to edit it. And it's like, I could cook all day, every day, but to film it and edit it and all that, it's like, it takes forever. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm doing that.
Yeah, we get it.
Yeah,
So
doing that, and there's just a lot more to come that I'll keep you guys posted on.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you're just like stepping into it.
Yeah, strong woman.
Like, yeah.
You know what I mean? And drive. Strong woman with a lot of drive. It's important. Good for you.
Oh, I'm also getting into streaming.
Good for you.
Yeah, I've been a gamer since I was a
Wow,
toddler.
bro.
Yeah, I told
that
you
right there is
I was
like,
a weirdo kid. I
you can
still
make
am.
money. That could be a career all itself. I wish that I got into streaming or could.
You totally could.
You-
You have that e-girl look for
I
sure.
could.
I feel like
I just feel like I don't know even how to really
Should I
do
start streaming?
in that blue leotard thing. that
I
you have?
could. That could be a thing. The blue leotard.
Yeah, every
That's
time.
my nickname. The blue leotard.
Yeah.
The blue retard.
No,
Are we allowed
I
to
don't
say
think
that?
you can Say that.
Well, I'm calling myself it though.
But you're super gamer. Like
No.
you have that super game. Like
Do I?
I
Well,
think so.
I've been gaming with my
you're like
big
anime.
brother.
Like you're anime walking in. Like
Right?
on-
There you go.
Yay. Well,
Okay, I
I've
like
been
that. I
gaming
could
since
see
I was
that.
like, original Nintendo, Super Nintendo,
Totally.
original PlayStation, Sega
Yeah.
Genesis. Like I used to get Game Informer
Oh, yeah.
magazines sent to my house, in middle school and
Oh,
high
yeah.
school. Like I was like really in the industry. The only thing for me is figuring out the streaming stuff. I'm
That's
like,
my problem too. I would stream all day, but I don't get it.
I'm a millennial. Like, what am I
Same.
doing here again? Like,
Same.
imposter syndrome again.
Yeah. I'm like, what are these kids doing?
They're so good at it.
They're so
They're
good.
so good at it.
I mean, I know some of these guys out here that stream literally like as their job, and they stream like 24/7, and they make an insane amount of money
Insane.
by
It's
basically
insane.
just streaming their entire life.
Yeah.
Like wild.
Yeah, for sure.
Like they would just set up their phone right now and stream this whole podcast, and people would just be tuning in and watching it.
yeah.
I'm like, what? No.
Well, I love, just yapping, and clearly now,
Yeah.
never before, but, I love engaging with people. I
Yeah.
love learning about people, and I love teaching now.
Mm-hmm.
I could go on and on about teaching people about, healthy
All of the
recipes,
things.
just all the things about my experience.
Totally.
With sobriety and, just spirituality and
Yep.
everything I've learned along the way, and just a healthy lifestyle. And obviously games are cool. I
Yeah.
feel like there's such a bad, connotation with gamers too.
For sure.
And, like, I get it. It's a sedentary thing, but I mean, get off your ass and go work out after that. Like, you don't have
Totally.
to, you know what I mean?
I mean, it's just like in anything in life. It's like, why is gaming so bad and why is gambling so bad?
Right.
It's like everything in life can be done with a balance.
Why is
Balance is
McDonald's so
everything.
bad?
Right, balance. It's like if that's your main course of meals every single day,
Not good.
not good.
But to go have a Big Mac every now
Totally.
and again, not
That's
gonna
okay.
hurt you.
To go and play, give yourself life. Like think about it. Life is so consumed with so many things that like you need some sort of outlet, whatever that may be.
Just the casual gun show,
Oh.
Natalie, thanks.
I really,
The casual invitation. I got
got-
2 tickets.
got 2 tickets.
2 tickets
I
to
give a free
paradise.
show.
Won't you pack your bags? We leave tonight.
I think you're a breath of fresh air. And
Yeah.
I'm so happy that people get to hear your
Thank
story
you.
because people are going to be able to relate to an individual like yourself that has that moment of clarity where you got to see a photo where it's like certain little things happen in all of our lives to make that switch of a change and change for the better.
Right. And the past is the past, and all you can focus on is, the present and the future.
For sure.
And maybe not even the future, but the present, take everything day by day.
And there's never too late. Like people are
It's never
always
too
saying
late.
how I can't change or I can't do this. It doesn't matter how young, how old. If you don't like how you are right this second, whether it's in a relationship, how you feel, if you're overweight, underweight, make a change. You have control over yourself and what you are doing.
Absolutely. It all comes down to belief and, getting rid of the self-limiting beliefs.
Yes.
I grew up in that environment, whether it be at home or through my peers or
Sure.
wherever, even with the public,
Sure.
and it all comes down to how you feel about yourself.
Oh, for sure.
Who cares? Like, it's your life. It's no one else's.
Period.
It doesn't have to make sense to anyone but you.
Period.
Yeah.
I love that.
Exclamation point.
Exclamation point on that. I feel
Period,
like that's-
exclamation
yeah,
point.
Yeah, period.
Just all the grammatical
Yeah.
errors. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Oh yeah, journalism right here. She's like, absolutely
matter.
not. We will be delete, insert correctly. We need quotes, and I feel like that was a perfect sentence to end on.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you
And
for having me. you
Also,
guys.
too, hopefully we get you back on the road before actual like
Crazy traffic.
horrible traffic. Thank you so
Thanks for
much.
coming.
Thank you so much. That was so fun.